Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to take another look here, of course, at Bitcoin, kind of see what's going on this weekend, kind of just wrap up and kind of prepare for the week, because we could have a very interesting week based on what is going on with the fundamentals, basically the Silicon Valley Bank. There's a lot of different scenarios there, and what, if I understand correctly, they ruled out a bailout for SVB, so that could positively or negatively impact the market. So just keep that in mind. It may be good, may be bad. I mean, from an outside perspective, you'd think that it'll be bad, but you'd be very surprised. Cryptocurrency has a weird way of responding to things. Okay, so that being said, 20,600 is essentially the current price point. So we'll take a look at that here in just a moment, and just so you know, I love teaching people to trade. If you want to become a better trader, you can come here and consider becoming a member. We have awesome features coming to the community, new day trades, as well as, of course, retaining our current swing trades. Furthermore, I'm bringing an indicator too here to the equation. I'll show you what that looks like here in a moment, how it works. Pretty much signal this little increase here, of course, and there's really a lot of cool things about it. But anyways, be sure to check that out, and obviously our sponsors too, because there's a lot of different opportunities there where you can actually join in our trading community competitions. Okay, so both Bybit and BitGet allow for that, and there's other features as well in case you need some extra benefits with some free months and or subscription special offer. So check that out in your own time. With Bitcoin, here's the big story here, or big picture, whatever you want to call it. It's up on the day roughly 1%. We just saw a little bit of a pump here a moment ago. If you go to the 1 minute chart, you can see in 2 minutes the price increased, drum roll please, by about 1.7%. So while that's not super massive and significant, that did push us right through this exact moment here, right? This resistance at 20,500. You can see it on the 15-minute chart pretty clear, where the price action continued to retest this level and inevitably broke through. So henceforth, we should expect that to be the support level moving forward. Once again, expectations are pretty much something you shouldn't have in trading. It's really just a simple fact that that is a key level resistance for the moment that is tentatively a support level. All right, so I like to emphasize the word tentative because this is weekend trading, and weekends have more volatility because there's less volume. All right, so taking a look at the daily, let's just go ahead and do our standard indications here, kind of be done with it, because ultimately, when it comes to liquidations, we already looked at that recently here. There's a tremendous amount of liquidations at the 19.6 mark, as well as, of course, the 20,200 mark. So with us breaking through that level, that's a very positive sign. Okay, so we'll take a look at HyblockCapital more in detail tomorrow with some of those back-end things once the traditional trading day opens and we have a little bit more data. But for now, we're kind of just trending green as per usual. And to my community members, if you kind of are waiting on the sidelines, just continue to wait maybe a little bit longer, honestly. There's a great chance we'll see a little bit of a pullback potentially before we leg up again, because once more, weekends provide weird and strange results. So try not to get too excited about what's going on right now. That's all I can say. If you look at Bitcoin's history, weekends are you rarely see this on a weekend. Okay, it's almost always typically on Monday through Friday. All right, so take a look at the MACD. We can see here we're diverging, or still diverging, of course, but we're not really as strong as we were before. We're losing that momentum. Keep in mind, it takes a little while to recover. All right, so again, I give the analogy of falling down a flight of stairs. It's going to take longer to bounce back from that if that were to happen to you, unless you're a stuntman, and even stuntmen actually have problems recovering from situations like that. So with that being said, taking a look at the RSI, you can see the price effectively bounced off 30 on the RSI. While it dipped down below a little bit, that pretty much tells us it was overextended to the downside and a recovery would make sense. Right now, what we're seeing isn't necessarily a full-on recovery, but it is somewhat of a push to the upside to fill in that little gap that was previously filled between 19,800 and 20,500 from a few weeks ago. Okay. And when I say fill in that gap, I'm just meaning that now that it's been filled, it makes sense for the price to recover to kind of continue in whichever direction it should go from here. What I mean by that is we don't truly know what direction we're going to head because we have some specific resistance and support levels we want to identify. Now it's kind of hard to see on the charts here just based on the color of this Fibonacci, but the 200-day SMA is hanging out right here at about 19,700. Price wicked down just below that, but bounced off of that level. So that is a support level for the moment. We got to acknowledge that, but also note that we have a potential divergence here where the 50-day SMA is working its way down. That could essentially work as basically a death cross, as they call it, to effectively tell us that the price action could progress lower. So it's important for us to get above the 50-day SMA in the near future to be able to have any chance to stay above that death cross. Okay, so again, we're a ways away from that. I do not feel like we're going to see anything like that transpire soon, but just keep an eye on it, if you will. All right, so 4 hour time frame, we can see here that we are pushing back up over, or actually to 50 on the RSI. Now there's a good chance we could get rejected. The price kind of tapers off and comes down. And if that were to happen, we want to buy the dip somewhere in the range of 20,300 to 20,500. Okay, it's again, it's a potential support level right now. I like to emphasize the word potential because we're not there yet, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 4-hour candlesticks. We've retested that level and just now broke through it. So it's a common characteristic for that to be tested as a support now moving forward. So 20,500 is a tentative support level now at this time. Okay. Again, we're very early, very premature. That's why it's all tentative for the moment, but there's a good chance it'll come down, bounce, and continue higher if it were to. Once again, if it were to. I know it's crazy to think of uncertainties in trading, but if you've been in the market for long enough, you'll know that sometimes the best technical analysis doesn't work all the time. Okay? And again, a lot of it has to do with fundamentals. Keep in mind, Fed meeting has an emergency meeting tomorrow, likely, again, I'm not certain about this, but likely because of SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank. And if that were the case, then we need to make sure to stay kind of on our toes here soon, because if we have some bad news there, it could translate to bad news for the market. All right, so just something to note. All right, so last thing we want to look at here, we're likely above the cloud now, or testing the cloud rather. Let's take a look. So you can see we are trying to break through, but haven't officially yet. So trying to get too excited. Remember, I've mentioned this previously before. If you're trying to take a long position, you want to wait wait for confirmation when the price is above this level for a little while. Now, when I say a little while, I'm referring to the simple fact that the price action comes up here, got rejected by that immediate resistance, and is coming back down. So if the price continues to progress down, then we'd be happy that we never got in, hypothetically, right? But again, if the price comes over, consolidates a little bit further, and then comes down to bounce off this level, there's a decent chance we'll see that recovery off 20,500. So to me, hypothetically, 20,500 would be a good entry target. Again, it's easy to say now because we just peaked up above that. Nothing really has happened yet. We do not have confirmation, but ultimately you want to wait for the price action to be above the upper and lower lead, that's this actual cloud itself, for at least a few hours before you take entry. Trying to get just super excited and just jump right in because it's moving up right now. A lot of FOMO is probably happening at this moment because people are wishing they'd bought the dip and now the price is going up. Just keep in mind, what goes up must come down. There's a good chance it'll pull back. But either way, you look at it here, we have confirmation for our lower and upper lead here. We're looking pretty good in the overall sense of things, but we just don't have full-on confirmation that this is actually here to stay yet. Okay? Take a look at TD sequential. Not much to note here, just kind of all over the place. So in truth, we really don't have a ton of data here in that sense. So again, this is that typical standard, calm before the storm where the price action is increasing over the weekend, and we'll see tomorrow very soon what that looks like. So be cautious trading into tomorrow's, opening trade, if you will. If you're going to have a trade position open here today, make sure you maybe consider taking some profits because it does look like there's some profits on the table if you bought the dip. Try not to get super greedy. Take them while you still can. Okay. And to my community members, I'm planning to send out some signals here very, very soon. We just want to wait for confirmation. And again, I'd like to wait for those things. That's why swing trades are less often, and we're bringing day trades to the community to ensure that we don't just have instances where the price goes up, you get on in, and then it turns right around on you. Okay. So again, looking out for your best interest. I hope you understand that. Thanks again so much for joining me here. If you do want to become a community member, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. Consider joining our our sponsors as well, because we have trading competitions coming up here for Bybit. If you use my link, you can get some benefit there, of course, with just some extra spending cash, obviously, if you were to just simply trade on the exchanges you're supposed to, okay? Or as you're used to, rather. Who's to say you're supposed to, right? All right, thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.